Have you ever wondered why every job you apply for seems to slip through your fingers, as if something bigger is holding you back? What if those rejections aren't failures, but signs from God that you're meant for more than a paycheck? Stay with me, because what feels like delay might actually be divine direction. 1. Feeling stuck and hopeless. There comes a time in nearly everyone's life when nothing seems to move forward. You send out resumes, attend interviews, and still end up waiting for that one message or phone call that might change your life. The longer the silence, the heavier your heart feels. It's easy to wonder if you're doing something wrong or if God has stopped listening. But this period of stuckness isn't a sign of abandonment. It's often the beginning of transformation. When we feel hopeless, we tend to measure our worth by results, by the job we get, the salary we earn, or the recognition we receive. Yet in God's eyes, your worth was never tied to your position. This season of uncertainty is a sacred invitation to pause, reflect, and reconnect with your Creator. God uses these still moments to shift our focus from worldly achievement to spiritual awareness. Your value doesn't decrease in the waiting. Instead, your faith is being refined like gold. What looks like delay may actually be divine preparation. 2. Divine timing. David Yonggi Cho often emphasized that God's timing is never late. It's simply different from ours. When life slows down or doors remain closed, we naturally feel anxious. We want instant answers, instant success, and instant relief. But God operates in divine timing, not human schedules. There's a perfect rhythm to His plan, and sometimes that rhythm includes waiting, pruning, and growing unseen. Think of a seed buried underground. It doesn't bloom the moment it's planted. It must remain in darkness until the right conditions, water, sunlight, and time, bring it to life. Similarly, God places you in seasons where nothing seems visible, yet everything vital is happening within you. He may be teaching patience, humility, or endurance, qualities necessary for the blessings ahead. If He gave you what you wanted too soon, you might not be ready to handle it. Divine timing ensures that when the door finally opens, you'll walk through it equipped, mature, and ready to thrive. 3. Redirection, not rejection. When a job opportunity slips away or a plan fails, it's natural to feel rejected. But what if rejection is God's gentle way of redirecting you towards something better? Every no carries a hidden "not this way." The pain you feel isn't punishment, it's protection. Imagine applying for a position that looks perfect on paper, but in reality, it would have drained your joy or limited your growth. God, who sees the future, closes certain doors out of mercy. Redirection means He's guiding you to a path more aligned with your spiritual purpose and potential. It's like a GPS recalculating your route, not because you're lost, but because a safer, more meaningful road lies ahead. David Yonggi Cho often taught that setbacks are stepping stones. When things don't work out, it's not the end of your story. It's a new chapter waiting to be written. If you can embrace rejection as divine redirection, you'll stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is God trying to teach me through this?" 4. Faith over fear. When uncertainty lingers, fear grows stronger. Thoughts like, "What if I never find a job?" or "What if I'm not good enough?" begin to dominate the mind. But fear is the language of doubt, while faith is the language of trust. Choosing faith over fear means believing that God's promises are greater than your current pain. Faith doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means facing reality with confidence that God is in control. It's easy to believe when things are smooth. The real test is trusting when everything seems impossible. David Yonggi Cho once said that faith is not a feeling. It's an action. It's waking up every morning, praying, showing up, and moving forward even when nothing changes yet. God never asks you to understand every detail of His plan. He only asks that you trust Him through the unknown. The moment you stop feeding your fears and start feeding your faith through prayer, scripture, and gratitude, you'll begin to see peace replace panic. Faith opens the way for miracles that fear can never access. 5. Wisdom from David Yonggi Cho. David Yonggi Cho, founder of one of the largest churches in the world, built his life around trusting God's unseen plan. His message wasn't about easy success. It was about spiritual vision. He taught that true faith requires seeing beyond your circumstances and believing in what God has already promised. Cho emphasized the power of the fourth dimension, a realm where faith, imagination, and prayer shape your reality. He believed that when your thoughts and words align with God's promises, unseen forces begin working in your favor. That's why he encouraged believers to visualize blessings, speak life, and maintain spiritual focus even in hard times. His life itself was proof of divine timing. He started with nothing in poverty and sickness, but trusted God's vision until it became a worldwide ministry. His story reminds us that the delay you experience might be the very space where God is building the foundation of your destiny. The key is consistency in prayer, purity in intention, and patience in waiting. 6. Purpose beyond a job. One of the greatest truths in faith is realizing that God's plan for your life is much bigger than a paycheck. While jobs are important for survival, purpose is essential for fulfillment. When you focus solely on employment, you may miss the spiritual growth and calling hidden behind the waiting period. Maybe God is preparing you to lead, to serve, to create, or to inspire others. Perhaps he's building skills in you that will later help others heal, learn, or believe again. Sometimes a delay in employment gives you the time and clarity to discover your real mission, something no job description could ever capture. Your calling might not come wrapped in an office or a title. It could appear through a small opportunity, a new idea, or a passion you've ignored for years. Remember, many of God's greatest servants, from Moses to Joseph, faced long seasons of uncertainty before stepping into their divine purpose. You are not unemployed in God's kingdom. You are being trained for greater service. 7. Spiritual growth in waiting. Waiting seasons are often the most uncomfortable yet the most transformative. When nothing seems to move, God is moving things inside you. This is where your character, discipline, and faith are tested. It's easy to pray for blessings, but it takes maturity to grow while waiting for them. During these times, God teaches you to rely on Him rather than on outcomes. The waiting room becomes your classroom, a place where you learn humility, gratitude, and perseverance. This spiritual training ensures that when success comes, it doesn't consume you. Without such growth, blessings can turn into burdens. You can use this waiting season to develop habits that align with divine purpose. Consistent prayer, reading scripture, serving others, or building new skills. Every step you take with a faithful heart brings you closer to God's plan. Remember, growth happens silently, like roots strengthening beneath the soil. You may not see progress, but heaven does. 8. Encouragement and motivation. In moments of despair, it's easy to lose hope and compare your life to others. But comparison is the thief of peace. God's plan for you is unique. No one can walk your path or claim your destiny. Every rejection, delay, and disappointment is customized for your spiritual development. You might not understand everything now, but one day you'll look back and realize why things had to unfold the way they did. Each unanswered prayer was a setup for a better blessing. What seems like loss today will become your testimony tomorrow. So keep believing. Keep showing up with faith even when you feel unseen. Remember, your current chapter doesn't define your entire book. God is still writing your story, and His handwriting never misses a line. The very moment you surrender your worry and start trusting His process, peace will return to your heart. Hold on to this truth. God's plan will always exceed your expectations. It may not happen when you want, but it will happen exactly when you need it. Keep your faith alive, and soon you'll see that every delay had a divine purpose guiding you towards something far greater than a job, a calling designed just for you. No delay is wasted when God is in control. Trust His timing and purpose. Say this with faith: God's plan for me is greater. Comment it below and subscribe to Quantum Power.